Well, welcome everyone to the March 17th St. Patrick's Day edition of the Town of Conception Bay South Public Council meeting. Welcome everyone, and we'll start this meeting, as we do with all of our meetings, with a land acknowledgement. The Town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Okay, before we get into the official business of this, I believe that there is a friendly wager that needs to be dealt with off the top, and I'll call upon Councillor Gerard Tilley to lead us in this part of the meeting.
Thank you, Your Worship. Outside of Christmas, probably this day is probably one of my most favorite days of the year. Pending, I guess, the outcome of a certain hockey tournament that we have at our Winterfest every year. So myself and the Deputy Mayor, we have a friendly wager. The Deputy Mayor being a Pioneer alumni, and myself and myself being the opposite end of the field, a Falcon alumni. So of course we have a friendly wager during the Shield that if depending on who wins the Shield, the high school boys Shield, that the losing team will wear the opponent's jersey at a public council meeting. So this year is my turn to gloat. So of course in the last Winterfest, Holy Spirit Falcons were victorious in the high school Shield. So I'd like to present this lovely jersey to the Deputy Mayor so she can wear it for the next, I'm going to talk as long as I can so she can wear it as long as she can.
All right, front and center, the changing of the jersey. Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Okay, well, that's great. Now we're going to go on with the business of council, and the adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight is moved by Councillor Hardy, seconded by Councillor Moores. Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Next up, the meeting minutes from the last meeting on March the 3rd are moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Clooney. Any discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? And they are carried. And the next section is visitors' presentations and petitions. And I believe, Councillor Hardy, you have a petition with you this evening.
Yes, Your Worship, I do. I've received a petition from the residents from the Anthony Road area up in the west end of CBS, just there in Upper Gullies, and some of the connecting side roads. There were 76 names who signed the petition. They've stated over the past 20 years or so, this area has experienced a significant amount of growth. There's a lot of residential homes up there. We do have a new seniors complex up there with Admiral's Coast. We have over 100 residents at the Admiral's Coast, and a nice few of those residents drive. There's lots of people who visit the residents, and so the traffic in the area has certainly increased. And then there's a lot of connecting roads from Anthony's Road. If anyone has been there, you'll understand how the road is very narrow, and there's very little shoulders on the side, so you do have a lot of residents having to walk on the main road versus on the sidewalks. And this time of year, like everywhere, there is a lot of potholes. So the potholes they normally have are more significant this time of year, and there's a lot more chips in the road. So it's certainly not as safe as we would like to have it for our residents in our ward. So certainly happy to bring forward this petition to have the Anthony's Road looked at from a repaving or a how we can fix it to make it safer for all the residents in the area.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy, and you're tabling that petition. Of course, will be shared with our department for review, along with all the other roads in the town that get reviewed annually to see what the priority list will be. But we are pleased to hear from the residents up there and outlining their concerns about the quality of the road, and it's always helpful when residents do that. So thank you, Councillor Hardy. Okay, next up, we have a proclamation. This is the Purple Day for Epilepsy, March 26th. Whereas Purple Day is a global effort to promote epilepsy awareness in countries around the world, and whereas Purple Day was founded by 9-year-old Cassidy Megan of Nova Scotia, who wanted to let people know that if they have epilepsy, you are not alone. And whereas epilepsy is a chronic neurological disorder which affects each person differently, estimated to affect more than 10,000 people in our province, over 300,000 people nationally, and 50 million people around the world. And whereas 1 in 10 persons will have at least one seizure during their lifetime, and whereas the public is often unable to recognize common seizure types and unable to respond with appropriate first aid, and whereas Purple Day will be celebrated on March 26th annually to increase understanding, reduce stigma, and improve the quality of life of people living with epilepsy throughout the country and globally. I therefore be it resolved that I, Darren Bent of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim March 26th as Purple Day in an effort to raise awareness and understanding of epilepsy and to support all those who live with seizures each day. Just wanted to check before I move on, but is there anyone with the Epilepsy Society here this evening for this proclamation? Okay, perfect. I will pass this one along, and thank you very much for that. Now, to carry on from the start of the meeting, we're going to do the official part of this now. We have some check presentations to be handed out with regards to the Shield. And of course, attendance at the Shield each year goes to support the schools themselves. And we give back a portion of the money raised through the Shield games from attendance to each of the schools. And we're about to do that now. And because she is looking great in the Holy Spirit jersey, I'm going to call upon the Deputy Mayor to come forward and present Holy Spirit representatives. Come on up, Holy Spirit representatives, with theirs. I'll get you in the middle for a pick. I have to admit, though, the envelopes are empty. They are for show. So, and I'd like to call upon now Councillor Gerard Tilley to present the check to the Queen Elizabeth female squad. I believe they're here. Yep, come on up, Queenie. And of course, they won the Annie Parsons Shield this year. Okay, and also, and just so you know, each one of those schools will get $1,517.02 to go towards their activities. And now for the Akita-sponsored Junior Shield Games. First off, for Villanova Junior High, I'd like to call upon Councillor Shelley Moores to present them. And anybody here from Villanova? Come on. Come on. That's right. Again, the envelopes are empty. Okay, and next up for the junior high Villanova male squad, I'm sorry, not Villanova, Frank Roberts. Female squad won the Akita Equipment Shield, and I'll call upon Councillor Rex Hillier to come on up and present that. And who do we have from Frank Roberts? Come on up. Yep. Come on up. Okay, and each one of the junior high squads will get $787.51 to go towards their programming. So congratulations, and thank you very much. Okay, where are we on the list? We have a notice of motion, I see here. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Worship. Be it so resolved that resolution number 26-043 be rescinded, and further be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.3.12 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 6345 received on January 7th, 2026 for 3.1 square meters and 1.9 square meter accessory buildings at 40 Garden Road be approved. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 10.7 and 10.10.2 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 6334 received on January 7, 2026 for a hobby farm use at 40 Garden Road be approved on condition that a maximum of 13 fowl be kept on the property and that the property owner register with the Provincial Farm Premises ID Program. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Clooney, any discussion, Councillor Hillier?
Yes, Your Worship. This is a notice of motion that we brought forward at our last public meeting. And basically what we're doing, we're rescinding a motion that we approved back in February to permit 6 fowl in this hobby farm. Subsequent to that approval, we have further communication with the resident. They had some concerns. They've got a big piece of property there on Garden Road. They had some concerns that their allotment of ducks didn't match up with other allotments that we had approved around the town. And there's a couple of other very good arguments, and we decided to, I guess, meet them halfway. They had 24 ducks. They had already rehomed 10 or so, and we, as a result of this here this evening, we're asking that we approve 13 as part of a remaining flock.
Any other discussion on this matter? Okay, well.
And I guess, Your Worship, the reason why we're doing it this way, this is the process by which we rescind a motion.
Okay, well, it's a home for 13 ducks anyway. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Okay. And I believe the petition is what we've already had, so I'm going to move right along to new business. And Councillor Tilley, did you want to start us off?
Thank you, Worship. Just one item this evening, I guess in keeping with hockey in Conception Bay South. This past weekend, the Baker Flooring Conception Bay Senior Blues defeated St. John's Caps. So they won the Avalon East Senior Hockey League title for the first time in the history of the club. And now they await the winner of the Central West Senior Hockey Circuit League for the chance to compete for the Herder Championship Trophy for, I guess, that's the equivalency of the Stanley Cup for senior hockey in Newfoundland, Labrador. And I think if memory serves me correct, Councillor Hill, I don't know if you've been around, I don't think we've ever played for the Herder ever in the history of Conception Bay South. So games 1 and 2 start in the East Coast, which is going to be at the new CBS Arena. Game time is March 28th, 29th, I believe, Nick. So we encourage all of our residents and fans of senior hockey and any hockey for that matter in CBS to come and cheer on our senior team as they go for the provincial championship.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. And of course, it's a longer season this year because of the Allen Cup is going to be right here in Conception Bay South. So we're looking forward to that. And that's just next month. I think that's probably like 4 or 5 weeks away.
I think the Allen Cup is the week after, if it goes 7 games.
Yeah, so hard upon it. So it'll be a great bit of senior hockey in CBS, a Herder, and the Allen Cup all in the same year. Excellent. All right, looking forward to that. So next up, we have Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. So in keeping with hockey, I'll start off with our extending acknowledgement and congratulations to Brandon Joy of CBS, who is a member of the 2026 Canadian National Blind Hockey Team, and he's leaving on Thursday and heading to Toronto for the 2026 National Blind Hockey Tournament, where his team will compete against USA, and this year they have a team from Europe. So they're pretty excited. So we send best wishes to Brandon and his team, as he represents Canada, and he's from Conception Bay South. So best of luck, Brandon. Another thing I'd like to make mention of, March 8th was International Women's Day, and on the 9th we held our town event. But before I went to that event, I was invited to go to Heritage Square, where there was a group of ladies from Girl Guiding. They're known as the Trefoil Guild. So the Trefoil Guild is a group for Girl Guides who are leaders, who have been Girl Guides for their lifetime, and it's a place for them. Some of them are still active leaders, some of them are just part of this group, and they do community work themselves. They sometimes provide support to different Girl Guiding units, and they do some different community work themselves. Anyway, they had a very special presentation that they were doing on March the 9th at Heritage Square. A resident of Heritage Square, Lillian Taylor, received her 65th year of service pin from Girl Guides of Canada. And she was, and there was such a great turnout. I mean, 65 years of service. And I said it was so fitting. We were getting ready to celebrate, or we were in celebration of International Women's Day. And here's a movement that is dedicated to girls and young women, mentoring, supporting, teaching. And anyway, so I just wanted to take this opportunity. I was there and brought greetings from the town and congratulated Lil. I know Lillian pretty well over the years. And I just want to say on behalf of all of us here, congratulations to her on her 65 years of service, and she's still active within that group, so congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for that. That was interesting to hear about that anniversary. That's quite a long time to be volunteering with one group, for sure. And a little bit more on that, of course. Our International Women's Day was very successful. I have to give a lot of kudos to Councillor Moores, who was the backbone of this particular IWD. Thank you, Shelley. It was a beautiful night. A lot of people came up afterwards, congratulated on the speakers that were there and what was said by the speakers. And we were very pleased with it, and I'm looking forward to doing more of the same next year, hopefully. It may be even a little bit bigger and somewhere else, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I do have a few more things. As some of you know, I volunteered at the Briar a couple of weeks ago, and I certainly enjoy doing that, and I did it back in 2017. So I just wanted to thank Team Gushu for putting Newfoundland on the curling map, especially Brad and Mark. I want to wish Brad all the best as he follows his girls' curling careers, and wish Mark all the best to whatever he decides to choose from now on. I also want to congratulate Ken Perraway and Ida Linehan on Ken's new book, Branch Lines of Newfoundland, being published by Ida Linehan's new publishing company, Seaweed Publishing. So actually the two of them were sort of having a launch there at the library there a few days ago. It was wonderful. What a crowd was there. It wasn't even standing room, it was that full. They had to go outside and stand up. And also, of course, today is St. Patrick's Day, but last Thursday was the senior social, and what a time. Lots of green going around there, and there was nobody green with them because they were all having a wonderful time, me included. Warms the heart to see us. And I also want to wish the 90th birthday for March 19th to a fellow CBSer who the seniors are very familiar with, and that's Charles Warford. He'll be 90 on March 19th, so I wanted to wish him a happy birthday on behalf of council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Butler, and I think we could probably change it here to St. Patrick's Week. And you have your green, yeah, there you go, yeah, and you're done in green. I'm wearing.
I did go to St. Patrick's School, by the way.
There you go, there you go. You're definitely washed in the blood of St. Patrick's. Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I also want to congratulate the Blues on their big win. I did get to one of their games, and it's very exciting. It's great to see a big crowd out, so I can only imagine how many are going to be there next weekend. If anyone knows me, they know how much Women's Day meant to me. And the fact that my flight was canceled for no apparent reason and I missed the event was probably very difficult. Well, it was very difficult. I know I had everyone drove mad because I was texting them every 2 minutes. Is everything okay? Did this go okay? Did that go okay? But I'm very glad to hear it was a huge success and look forward to planning again next year. A couple things. We are hiring for a recreation assistant lead, for the summer. And those applications are due. The last day to apply is April 4th. Our Easter camp begins on Monday, April 6th at Parsons. And is that sold out maybe, I think? Yes, sorry. So for those who did get in, it starts on April 6th. And we're happy to say that the Manuels River Center is now available for booking requests. Request form was launched on Friday, March 13th on the town's website. So you can go in and fill out the form for any type of event that you want to do for public or private meetings or events, etc. So check that out because it's a great facility to host any event that you have coming up. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you, Councillor Moores. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. You never know who he's going to when you get caught off guard. Yeah, I would also like to speak about the International Women's Day. Shelley, I know you weren't there, but your presence was certainly felt because all of the touches that we had was a touch we know you put a lot of effort in. It was absolutely beautiful, and we did not mind you asking every 2 minutes for an update or a picture. I hope we did you well on the updates. I do want to take a moment, though, to speak about a Trailblazer Award that I had the privilege to recognize. And so my niece, Kate Cleary, was given a Trailblazer Award with the Chamber of Commerce. And it just goes to show you do not have to be someone who's very seasoned from an age perspective. Kate is only grade 7 student. She lives here in CBS, and she is a big advocate in the community for anyone who has a disability and exceptionality. She's doing everything she can so that people around her have a better path moving forward. She thought it was a really big event. She keeps telling everyone she's very famous, and every time someone asked her for a new picture, she would say, is Paul Connors going to be in it with me? So her and MP Paul Connors have a very special bond, and he made sure he was home for that event as well to witness Kate receive that Trailblazer. So we're certainly very happy that she was recognized and she was even considered for the award. Just want to give up some upcoming events. The Walking for Wellness and Boil Up will take place tomorrow, March 18th at 10:30 at the Manuels River Gazebo. Hopefully the weather stays good. And there will also be a Hearts On AED and LifeVac Snack and Learn session that's going to be led by our fire department for the Twilight Seniors Group on March 24th from 10:30 to 11:30 at Worsley's Park. So I think this is going to be a great event. I know council, we certainly had the benefit of having a demonstration done by our chief, Heffernan. So I think it's certainly going to be beneficial for this seniors group. And that's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Hillier.
Your Worship, I think tonight I'm going to limit my comments to fowl and hobby farms, and we'll say that it's done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No roosters, right, Councillor Hillier?
No roosters, Your Worship.
Roosters. Okay. Councillor Clooney.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to say happy St. Paddy's Day to all residents of CBS, and if you go out partying tonight, please don't drink and drive. Thank you very much. That's it.
Wise words indeed. I think most of the St. Patrick's Day stuff started last Thursday, and here we are into Tuesday of the next week. They might as well keep going, I suppose. Just a few things. I want to mention this. I was at the Blood Services donor event today at All Saints here in CBS. They come out probably about 3 months and do take donations right here in the town, which is great for people that are in town, don't have to drive into the big city to donate blood. And the place was full when I got there. But one of the things that happened today was a whole group of young people from Queen Elizabeth High were there to donate blood and to find out about that. And it's just great to see that Canadian Blood Services are involving the young people in the areas to get them out and get them to show them that it's not not that big a deal to do, but an incredible thing to do for the people that need blood. That's for sure. So that was nice. Ken Piraway, launched his Branch Lines of Newfoundland book, his latest in the I almost like to call it the Newfoundland Railroad trilogy. But it's beyond trilogy. It's into his 5th book, and he says it may be his last one, but I'm not so sure that's true. But Kenny's done a fantastic job in documenting the railway of our province, and it's something that at the end of each sentence, when he gets to the last run, and he just says, and it was no more. And it is no more. And that's the end of it. But he's done a great job of bringing together the information, and especially the photographs are great in all of his books. Works with all different manner of railroad enthusiasts all over North America and the world to gather those and bring those stories back and keep them somewhat alive. And even, the streetcars of St. John's he did a couple of years ago, which was incredible, right? So it's great work. I thank Ken for that, and it was great to be at his event. And again, I think Councillor Butler mentioned Ida Linehan starting her own publishing company now, and that was her first book published, was Branch Lines of Newfoundland. So congratulations to her and all the best. Myself and Councillor Hillier, I think we were the ones representing at the Swim for Hope. I'm going to say last Friday, but it might have been the Friday before. I can't remember now, but it was the Friday before. But the Swim for Hope, of course, the Bluefins do a great job bringing young people together to swim. Certainly in the memory of people that they knew that had been affected by cancer, and their families, and of course they raise money to help people that have to travel and be away from home while they're doing their cancer treatments and so forth. They're helping people they don't even know, and they're learning how important it is to give back in your own community. So I thank the Bluefins and all the organizers and parents and everybody involved in that, and especially the kids for holding their Swim for Hope. I can't remember how much money they raised this year, but I think it was closing in on 30,000 right here in CBS. And they've raised a lot of money over the years, of course. What else is here? Oh, yes. International Women's Day. First off, it started, I suppose, for me, was at the Chamber of Commerce the week before when they do their Trailblazer Awards. And this year they did a Lifetime Achievement Award was given to, I like to call our very own Jennifer Lake as Lifetime Achievement Award, and all the things that she's been involved in. Of course, recognize her contributions through her work here at Town Hall to the community through economic and community development, and the work that she did is incredible. And of course, one of the pioneers of our trailway and the advancement of it, and advocate to ensure that it kept going. And also, herself and her family and achievements in sports athletics, especially in volleyball over the years. So I was very proud to be able to read the bio for Jennifer and to present her with the Lifetime Achievement Award for International Women's Day. And then, of course, then we had our own event here, and Councilor Moores, you were involved in that, I think, and along with Councilor Butler and Deputy Mayor Goss and Councilor Hardy. And we really missed you being there. And I know that everybody was texting you and saying, oh, this is awesome. And it must have made it even worse, I think, because it was absolutely awesome. Amanda Janes, told her story and told the things that she was involved in. I think it was the first standing ovation of the night, and it was well-deserved. It was wonderful to hear her story. And Calvin Randall gave his perspective from the business side of it, and then of course we had Megan Coles, who was best known, I suppose, in our circles and events as former Miss Newfoundland Labrador, but certainly a healthcare professional in nursing, and touches a lot of lives and does a lot of good, and a very positive and proactive person in the community, and involved in. She's with the St. John Ambulance group, has done a great work with them. You might even still see her at that, I'm not even sure. So anyway, she did a fantastic job. She got the second standing ovation of the night. It was incredible, it really was. Whoever put that together did an awesome job. Councillor Moores, I got to tell you, my hat's off to you. You did a great job, and all the women on our council, very proud night for, I think, all of us here that were in attendance, and the people that showed up. It was a full house. And everybody that I've talked to since had a fantastic time. And there's some funny videos circulating around on social media if anybody wants to search them up. Councilor Butler, I think you were involved in some of that. But anyway, that was fantastic. And I just want to, and I don't want to end it on a bad note, but I do want to say the statistic came out this past week that in Canada, to date this year, 2026 alone, there have been 30 women killed in violence in this country. And we're only to March 17th. So something got to change, right? And most of the perpetrators, of course, were male, in these cases. And last year there was 146. So we're on pace to keep it going. Nothing seems to be moving on that front. It's horrific. It is it's disturbing as a citizen and a resident to know that this is still happening at that level in our country. So anyway, we call upon all of those in our country, everybody, those in positions of power and those, everybody, do what you can to try to eradicate this horrible, horrible thing that's happening. I think I write such terrible notes, so I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything, because I forgot something last time too, didn't I? 2026. So, okay, that is it. So we're going to move on to the people's business, and we got other committees. Do we have any tonight? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Wednesday, March the 11th, we hosted the Northeast Avalon Joint Council Committee meeting here, monthly meeting, and myself and Councillor Moores represent our council on that committee. And each month there's a focus topic, and this meeting was community safety. And we had representatives of the RCMP and RNC with us to discuss community safety. So we had Sergeant Leslie Devereaux with the RCMP and Sergeant Ryan Slaney from the RNC. And just some of the topics that we talked about and had really great open conversation about was, about police response and putting in complaints and things. And both police forces are under-resourced right at this time. They are challenged without a doubt, and they both spoke to that. But they said people need to file complaints. They need to call in with complaints. Actually, the message that Ryan Slaney, Constable Slaney, Sergeant Slaney, sorry, kept saying, he said, if you see something, say something. He said the complaints come in, he said they do try to respond. They triage their calls. And of course, the one, it's like going to the hospital, the one that is the most urgent is the one they have to respond to first. But they look for trends and patterns, and they organize their patrols around those trends and patterns. So he said, while you think, they don't do anything, it's not the case. The information, the complaints, and they're valuable. He said some people don't want to get involved, they're afraid of being targeted. And he really impressed that we should be encouraging people to use Crime Stoppers. It is a very valuable way for someone who wants to file a complaint or report something but doesn't want to get involved. And he said, they rely on that heavily. So he said, we really need to encourage that. To call the police or call Crime Stoppers. He said that, we talked about different things. Of course, one of the big topics that was discussed was the ATVs and dirt bikes and the complaints that they get and the challenges they have. And, and so Northeast Avalon Joint Council is representative of 19 communities on the Northeast Avalon. So if we think that we're having trouble with ATVs and dirt bikes in our area, we are not alone. Everybody, it was a common problem across the board. And the police spoke to that, and they are very active with regards to trying to follow up on complaints of ATV and bike, dirt bike violations. It's a very challenging thing, but he said reporting instances is important because drivers tend to go in the same areas. So then when the calls come in, they see the pattern of behavior and they can follow up on it. But he said it's not easy. He did say that, community campaigns are really helpful and something that we should look at certain times of the years, as a council, that we could look at doing communication campaigns that are relevant to the seasons. So that was a really good conversation. And he said it's really important that with regards to underage drivers, that parents know that they are liable. They are liable for whatever happens if they have their child is out driving an ATV, dirt bike, what have you, and is underage. And the fines, the fines are significant. Anyway, we had it was a great meeting. It was a lot of engagement and some really valuable information came out of it. But the message that he said we need to drive home is that if you see something, say something. Call the RNC, call the RCMP, or use Crime Stoppers.
I'd just like to pipe in and say, one of the examples he gave is, residents may say, I saw that ATV go, there he is again today, I already called it in, I'm not, but if you only called in once and they don't hear about it anymore, they're probably going to think that it's fine. But every time you see it, they said they would rather a call be made so then they can really target where the issues are.
Yeah.
Right? So
The patterns of where they're driving and,
So every time you see something that shouldn't be, then you should report it.
Yeah, don't feel like it's useless or it's going on deaf ears or it's not going anywhere. It is, and it's important. And so that was a big message came out of our meeting. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, very interesting. And of course, one of the great things about the Northeast Avalon Joint Councils is that you get to share information and find out that the issues a lot of times are the same, and maybe be able to find collective ways to deal with them. And of course, having the police in is always important to keep them abreast of what's going on. Any other committees? Okay, I just have one thing, because I knew I'd forget something. I apologize, but I'm going to say it anyway. Councillor Butler volunteered at the Briar, and I missed the Briar note. Of course, Team Brad Gushu is absolutely no more, of course, but he is retired, and I'm sure it was wonderful for you to be part of that. And of course, you were part of the, I believe, the Briar the last time, and you volunteered at events that he's played in here at the Pinties and so forth, right here in CBS. But of course, we can cheer on Haley Gushu next year. So we can cheer on Team Gushu next year as well. And of course, Haley Gushu, from my understanding, is that she's off to a good start, because she has Kaylee Locke from CBS on her team, and they're heading to, I believe it's China next year, to play in the youth sports world championships, because they are the first MUN team to win the national championship. So
Can I
that's
add
pretty.
to that?
That's pretty good. Was that?
Can I add to that?
You can as well.
Brad's younger daughter is a skip, and she's Team Marissa Gushu, or some people call him Team Gushu 2.0. And Team Marissa Gushu just won the Canada Games, the Newfoundland Canada Games, so they represent Newfoundland at the Winter Games coming up. So both girls are very heavily involved in the curling.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to top that because you were at the Briar, but you also know that two members of Team Newfoundland and Labrador are from Conception Bay South as well. And of course, they are Nathan Locke and Ben Stringer, and they put on a pretty good show. It got tough down at the end for them, but still, you know, they were competitive right up until the last couple of matches, which is good for the future of curling in our province. So maybe Conception Bay South will be leading the way in curling when it comes to Newfoundland going forward. Let's hope so, hey? Okay, that's it on that one. Finance and admin tonight is, and I forget, I apologize, but I think it's Deputy Mayor Goss. There you go. Deputy Mayor, you seem to be slouched down a bit. We can't see that wording on that jersey. Maybe if you just,
It's
yeah.
weighing very heavy.
We should start standing up for when we're speaking.
Goodness. Okay, so just a couple of items, 3 actually. So the first one is 6A, Human Resources, Public Works Supervisor. Be it so resolved that Mike Neary be confirmed in the position of Public Works Supervisor per the terms and conditions of the employment contract, so moved.
Do we have a seconder? Yes, Councillor Clooney. Discussion?
Mike has been in this position for a year, and he is now permanent. This is a permanent appointment to the position. So congratulations, Mike.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. Congratulations to Mike. All the best.
The next item, 6B, Human Resources Fire Captain. Be it so resolved that Jason Kerrigan be appointed to the position of Fire Captain per the terms and conditions of the employment contract, so moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Hardy. Discussion?
And this is a new appointment for Jason. We had a couple of fire captains retire recently, and so he's moving up to the position of fire captain. So he'll have a year of probation, and we'll be back here again and probably saying he's permanent. So anyway, congratulations, Jason, on your appointment.
Okay. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. Congratulations, Jason. All the best.
And 6C, Canada Community Building Fund allocation. Be it so resolved that the Town of Conception Bay South submit a capital investment plan application to the Department of Municipal and Community Affairs to allocate Canada Community Building Funds in the amount of $2,500,000 for 2026 street upgrades. And further, be it so resolved that the Town of Conception Bay South close the CCBF project titled Lawrence Pond Road Upgrades, project number 55-2020-7013, with the remaining balance of $194.47 for the use on future projects. This project has been fully completed. So moved.
Do we have a seconder?
Sorry.
Councillor Morris, sorry. Any discussion on that?
This is just our funding. We need to make the applications. This is how we want to use our funding. That has to be approved. And then anytime any funds are left over from a project, we have to transfer that to a future project, and we need a motion to do so.
Your worship,
Yep.
just looking at that $194.47, it's not a bad job of estimates on a multi-million-dollar project. So I guess kudos to our staff.
Yeah, no, that's cutting it pretty thin. And I don't know where we're going to spend all that money in the next project we're going to allocate it to, but anyway.
Copy paper.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
That's everything for finance administration. Thank you.
Sorry, we are moving on then to planning and development, and that is Councillor Hillier.
I have to, excuse me, Councillor Hillier, I have to declare a conflict for the next motion, as my husband's business sells the same products.
Number 20, Cables Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 10.7 and 10.11.2 of the town's development regulations, application number 6117, proposing to operate a home occupation workshop and subsidiary retail sales from an accessory building at 20 Cables Road, be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that one? Councillor Morris, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is one that's been ongoing for some time. I know I met with the resident, I believe Councillor Tilley met with the resident, that would have been last fall, probably in October. And it's nice to see now that we've done a lot of work over that time, and the residents done a lot of work to bring the property into compliance, and now we're able to recommend approval for their business.
Any other discussion on this one?
Yes, Your Worship, just to compound on what Councillor Hillier said, when we first found out that the business was operating without a permit, we kindly asked that the business would go through the process for said application, and well, we had some hurdles. He finally crossed the T's and dotted a few I's, and now the business is able to perform with the permit in CVS.
It's important that everything is in compliance before getting the next permit, so. Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Okay, thank you. Carried.
Mr. Chair, before you go on, the next item, 2535 Topsail Road, I have to declare a conflict under the Townsville Local Service District Act. I have a family member who resides in the very near vicinity of this application.
Number 2535 Topsail Road. Be it so resolved that resolution number 26-032 be rescinded, and further, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 10.7 and 10.12.2 of the town's development regulations, application number 6316, proposing to operate a one-on-one fitness studio in a commercial building at 2535 Topsail Road, on condition of an acceptable snow clearing and storage plan and installation of parking line, painting, and signage, be approved. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.6, 4.11.2, and 4.12 of the town's development regulations, the approval and permit be revoked if parking associated with the business encroaches on adjacent properties. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Butler, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is a building on a very small property with very little parking space, very little storage space for snow clearing, very close to neighbors' driveways and so on. I know there have been issues there with other businesses in the past, and we're asking, in this business in particular, as we go forward, to respect the other residents in the neighborhood.
Anyone else? Yeah, there's been a number of businesses out of this one here, and given the nature of this one, maybe it's the one that'll work for the longest, but anyway. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Thank you. Carried.
Number 47 to 53 Perrins Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 5.10 and 4.15 of the town's development regulations, the land use impact assessment report and its recommendations related to the development of 47 to 53 Perrins Road be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Tilly, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this property is, as it says on Perrins Road, is near the water down at Long Pond, in a moderate hazard area, and as a result, we require a land use impact assessment report before any development takes place. That report has come forward, and we're seeking approval here tonight for it.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That's carried.
Number 589 to 591 Seal Cove Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.2 and 10.10.3 of the town's development regulations, application number 6317, proposing a single dwelling with a subsidiary apartment at 589 to 591 Seal Cove Road with a reduced building line setback of 5 meters, be refused in consideration that the proposed building line setback does not meet the minimum building line setback requirement. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Clooney, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, I have an amendment coming forward to this motion this evening that I'll read now.
Please.
Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.82 of the town's development regulations, application number 6317, proposing a single dwelling with a subsidiary apartment at 589 to 591 Seal Cove Road with a reduced building line setback of 5 meters, be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Tilly? Did you want to discuss that any further?
Yes, Your Worship. I guess we've had a second look at that and a deeper look. This is a property that's in a unique place. It's caught between Seal Cove Road and Little Indian Pond on the back. I'll say 6 years ago, we had worked with the family to develop a plan for a house on that lot. In the interim, two things happened. A family member passed away, and the permit was allowed to expire. And also, we extended the width of our roads from, I don't know the number, I don't know the exact number, I don't have the exact number here now, but basically, our roadway expanded. So the plan that the family had agreed on and we had worked with wouldn't fit. So I guess we're asking council this evening to relax that, considering those circumstances, and approve the permit, basically that we had approved some 6 years ago. And I think if we look at the area, and I've got just a note here, adjacent homes at 593, 595, and 595 Seal Cove Road have varying setbacks of between 1 meter and 7 meters from the edge of the right-of-way for Seal Cove Road. So it's higgledy-piggledy along that strip as it is. So we're asking council to relax that regulation.
And a cookie cutter change in regulations doesn't necessarily fit exactly everywhere. And of course, development there previous would make that very, very difficult to change. So any other comments on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That's carried.
(251) Spruce Hill Road, rezoning request. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 1.4 of the Urban Rural Planning Act 2000, the town undertake public and stakeholder consultation with respect to proposed rezoning land at and near 251 Spruce Hill Road from the Open Space Conservation Zone to the residential low-density R1 zone. So moved.
Is there a seconder for this? Councillor Clooney, discussion? Okay. No need for this land, I guess.
Your Worship, this is a situation, no, there's no need for it in terms of need, but areas along our trailway, there are wide buffers and narrow buffers. In setting out our new town plan, we've tried to set a standard. In this case, the buffer is much wider than the standard that we've set in our town plan. The resident there is looking to build a home in what is now the buffer, so we're looking to get that rezoned. They are not prepared to wait until the town plan is complete, so they're taking it on their own hands to rezone it, to go through the rezoning process themselves and pay for that process.
That might be prudent for timelines.
Yeah, and this falls in line with another one that we have a little bit further along the rail bed along the trailway on Monument Road. So the two of them are it's exactly the same process, same issues. So we're doing two of them conjointly.
Okay. Any other comments on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And finally, Your Worship, sale of land, Graham Mifflin Drive. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 190 of the Towns and Local Service Districts Act, Council provide public notice of its intention to dispose of approximately 10 acres of land on the east side, Graham Mifflin Drive, and south of the Conception Bay Arena. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Goss? Discussion?
Your Worship, this property is up in the Gateway area, and basically, when the Gateway was proposed, much of the area was, the mineral rights were owned by a company here in town. In lieu of the mineral rights, in order to give up the mineral rights, we agreed with the owner that we would sell them or give them in return for giving up mineral rights, these 10 acres, and we're just working through that process as legislation requires. But basically, we have already been paid for this piece of property.
Any other discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That is carried.
And that's it, Your Worship, from planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Next up, I believe, if I get through this, is procurement, and I think Councillor Clooney, you're leading the way tonight. You're going to spend some money for us?
11A, approval to purchase 2026 municipal tractor. Be it resolved that approval be given to purchase a 2026 municipal tractor from Saunders Equipment Limited through Canoe Procurement for $207,120 plus HST. Funds available in the capital fleet account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Butler? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 11B, approval to dispose fleet. Be it resolved that approval be given to dispose of fleet that is replaced or taken out of service units number 218, 281, 201, and 293. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Tilley? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That is carried.
Number 11C, approval to award Worsley Park roof replacement. Be it resolved that approval be given to award contract for the Worsley Park building roof replacement to SML Renovations and Contracting in company to the amount of $75,785 plus HST. Oh, no, HST included, sorry. Funds are available in the building maintenance account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Your Worship, that roof is to replace with a metal roof, so that's why the cost is up so high there.
Yeah, it's funny about that. I was talking to a roof contractor a couple of months ago, and they're saying the pricing, the way it is now for the older style, and the metal are not that far off anymore, right? So, but at least the idea is this will be for the long term, so hopefully that's good. And it's important to keep the seniors dry down at the Worsley Park, too,
Yes.
Councillor. Any other discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That is carried.
And 11D, approval to purchase cabinets for Manuel's River. Be it resolved that approval be given to purchase cabinets for Manuel's River Center from Crown Cabinets for the amount of $37,798.20, HST included. Funds are available in Manuel's River account. So moved.
Do you have a seconder for that? Yes, Councillor Morris, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. The cabinet is there for the fossil display at Manuel's River. That's why, isn't it?
Well, it's absolutely important, with regards to the fossils there, because the original reason for the building in the first place were the fossils, and to ensure that they have the proper structures for display and so forth. And for, I know that Councilor Moore, as you mentioned, the place is open for rentals now, and there's a form there to request rentals, but we're just not very long off, maybe just a few weeks now, to get the bottom part opened up and have the building open from morning till night for the general public to use and take advantage of for the first time in the building's history, and I'm looking forward to that. Any other discussion on the cabinets for the fossils? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? As carried. And that's it for procurement, I believe. Thank you, Councillor Clooney, and I don't see anything else on there except for an adjournment. So we'll be back here just after Easter on April 7th. So I'll call for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.